Top 10 most unbelievable thing humans have done. Even the most mundane operations of our brains are pretty amazing. Those feats, however, are nothing compared to some of the things that a small handful of people's brains have done. What follows, in no particular order, is a tiny list of some of the most amazing and horrible things that people's brains have ever done. When we work together and use our combined intellects and technical know-how, we can do amazing things. Here's the list of top 10 most unbelievable things humans have done. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Number 10. Pam Reynolds experienced life after death. By all accounts, Pam Reynolds, a blues singer from Atlanta, Georgia, was a normal person before she underwent surgery for a brain aneurysm. During the procedure, physicians drained all the blood from Reynolds' brain, rendering it completely inactive for 45 minutes. All normal brain operations, from accepting signals from the stomach that the sensation of hunger should cease or the transmission of oral and visual information, ceased. Yet, upon waking, physicians found Reynolds could describe the procedure in incredible detail. She's considered one of the most solid examples of a near-death experience, NDE, on record. Reynolds' experience is far from unique. One study of cardiac patients in a single hospital in the Netherlands found that of the 344 patients who'd been declared clinically dead, 18% reported having some experience of life after death. What's most impressive about Reynolds' NDE was that her brain was brought to a non-functioning state by an experienced medical staff, yet she was still capable of somehow relating information, like the type of bone saw her physicians used to cut off her skull, and conversion between the operating staff. Number 9. Apollo 11 landing. Unsurprisingly, placing a man on the moon will stand throughout history as mankind's greatest achievement. The moon landing was a momentous point in history, and every aspect of it, from the watches on the astronauts' wrists to the paint on the spacecraft, was selected to be the best and most cost-effective as possible. Apollo 11 was the first manned mission to land on the moon. July 20, 1969, American astronauts Neil Armstrong, 1930 to 2012, and Edwin Buzz Aldrin, 1930 to present, became the first humans ever to land on the moon. About 6.5 hours later, Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon. As he took his first step, Armstrong famously said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." The Apollo 11 mission occurred 8 years after President John F. Kennedy, 1917 to 1963, announced a national goal of landing a man on the moon by the end of the 1960s. Apollo 17, the final manned moon mission, took place in 1972. July 20th, 1969, marked the beginning of a new era for our species. It showed that our brains and hard work would, in time, allow us to do amazing things. Number 8. Atomic bomb. Atomic bomb, weapon with great explosive power that results from the sudden release of energy upon the splitting or fission of the nuclei of a heavy element, such as plutonium or uranium. Scientists first developed nuclear weapons technology during World War II. Atomic bombs have been used only twice in war, both times by the United States against Japan at the end of World War II in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A period of nuclear proliferation followed that war, and during the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union vied for supremacy in a global nuclear arms race. The Manhattan Project was the codename for the American-led effort to develop a functional atomic bomb during World War II. The Manhattan Project was started in response to fears that German scientists had been working on a weapon using nuclear technology since the 1930s. On December 28, 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt authorized the formation of the Manhattan Project to bring together various scientists and military officials working on nuclear research. It ended one world war and prevented another. The fission bomb is the pinnacle of human military ingenuity. In fact, it's unlikely that humans will ever create a more deadly weapon, save the hydrogen bomb. Number 7. The Bible. Nothing else ever written by humans has shaped the world in the future as much as the Bible has. According to both Jewish and Christian dogma, the books of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, the first 5 books of the Bible and the entirety of the Torah, were all written by Moses in about 1300 BC. The oldest biblical texts found are dated from about 2,700 years ago, making it one of the oldest preserved books ever found. It details the early histories of the Jewish people, as well as the life of Jesus Christ and his disciples. It is the holy book of Christianity. The Bible has a huge influence on the actions and thoughts of most of our species. Number 6. Microprocessor. A processor, or microprocessor, is a small chip that resides in computers and other electronic devices. Its basic job is to receive input and provide the appropriate output. Modern CPUs often include multiple processing cores, which work together to process instructions. That tiny chip inside every smartphone, laptop, and microcontroller is far and away the most complex object ever made by humans. The Intel 4004 was the world's first microprocessor, a complete general-purpose CPU on a single chip. Released in March 1971 and using cutting-edge silicon gate technology, the 4004 marked the beginning of Intel's rise to global dominance in the processor industry. The processor has, in essence, created a unified planet for the first time in history. Number 5. Orlando SERRELL'S started remembering dates. Orlando SERRELL is a rare type of incredibly gifted person. His gift came not naturally, but at the end of a baseball bat. While playing a game of ball at the age of 10, SERRELL was hit in the head and developed a headache for a few days. After it cleared up, he found that he could instantly spit out the day of the week for any date since August 17, 1979, the day he was struck. In most cases, he also includes not only the day of the week, but also what the weather was like that day around his Virginia home and other details of his life on that day. SERRELL says his amazing ability is the result of seeing his calendar answers in his mind's eye, rather than running over a mental calendar or carrying out quick math. Number 4. Skydiver lands on back of bike. A professional skydiving instructor pulled off a bold stunt when he leapt from a plane and maneuvered his way onto the back of a moving motorbike at Shell Harbour Airport in the Illawarra region of New South Wales on November 6. 34-year-old Scott Hisco took the morning off from his day job to perform the stunt with Red Bull motocross athlete Robbie Madison in Wollongong. Hisco leapt from an airplane, opened his parachute, and executed a high-performance turn to build up speed before landing on the back of Madison's motorbike. Number 3. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is the biggest object ever made by humans. It stretches across mountains, deserts, and grasslands for over 6,000 kilometers. The ancient Chinese built the wall to keep invaders from the west out of their country. Today, tourists from all over the world come and see it. The Great Wall began as a series of many smaller walls that were not connected with each other. The first sections of the wall were built as early as 600 BC. As time went on, Chinese emperors connected them together to keep Huns, Mongols, and other tribes out. Honestly, the amount of work that went into its construction is unfathomable. Thousands of soldiers, criminals, and peasants worked on building the wall. It was finally completed during the Ming Dynasty in the 17th century. Number 2. 100 Drones Show. Intel flew 100 drones above Palm Springs, California for the first Drone 100 light show. The show was the first time any company in the United States was given government's permission to fly that many drones at once. Intel released a video showing a fleet of 100 neon-lit drones in the night sky above Palm Springs, California, flying in formations and twirling around hundreds of feet in the air. Flying above spectators gathered in the Mojave Desert, the drones were hovering to form shapes, like a cylinder or a pair of wings, and changed their colors from red to green to blue repeatedly. Intel says that no other individual or company has received federal permission to fly so many drones, let alone put on a light show with them. Number 1. Mona Lisa / Lisa del Giocondo by Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci's Lisa del Giocondo, most commonly known as the Mona Lisa, is undeniably the most famous work of art in the world, and arguably the best. It also has the highest known insurance valuation in history, about $870 million in 2021. Mona Lisa, wife of Francesco del Giocondo, Italian La Gioconda, or French La Joconde, oil painting on a poplar wood panel by Leonardo da Vinci, probably the world's most famous painting. It was painted sometime between 1503 and 1519, when Leonardo was living in Florence, and it now hangs in the Louvre Museum, Paris, where it remains an object of pilgrimage in the 21st century. The sitter's mysterious style and her unproven identity have made the painting a source of ongoing investigation and fascination. Well, I like to think that it is simply beautiful, though humanity's true masterpiece. Thank you for watching. If you liked our video, then hit the subscribe button to never miss out on any of our videos. See you next time.